Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Transatlantic LP-01. This is what they call a lip pull, a cylinder pull is probably what I would call it. I would probably stop short of saying finger pull, but that is indeed the idea. When I think of a finger pull, I do think of something different, round, very small, possibly for a very light sliding sort of door. This is going to be, I would call it a cylinder pull. The Transatlantic called it a lipped pull. Got it. Let's take some dimensional properties of it, and we'll talk about where you use it. Overall height, about 2.5 or so. Overall width, about 1.75 inches. Its overall projection, looks like it's about 15/16. Weighs about 0.11 pounds, so it's quite light. I don't know what it's made of because it's only very marginally magnetic. It appears to have a zinc type finish, and marginally magnetic tells me that it's stainless steel, because stainless is marginally magnetic when it's been machined and not passivated. It doesn't look like any stainless steel that I've seen. Maybe it's zinc based. No, it wouldn't be, because zinc is absolutely not magnetic. Diameter of that hole that's going to be in there, I'm sure that's supposed to be 1.25 diameter, right? 1.25 diameter on that. Now, let's talk about where you are going to use this pull. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So the LP-01 lip pull, where you're going to use this is in an application where you don't want, generally you're going to use this in an application where you don't want much hardware on the door at all. You would prefer no hardware on the door. You have a steel door. Here's a scenario. A steel door, it's got an exit device on it, a rim cylinder so that a person can get in. Rather than put the key in and turn it and pull the door open with that key held in the cylinder, which is an awful idea, install something like this. It's inexpensive, it's functional, it's extremely simple to install, and will afford you the ability to avoid the premature failure of the key and of the cylinder that you're using as a handle to pull the door open. That's where we will see these. You don't want a lot of hardware on the door for maybe aesthetic reasons, or you want it to be inconspicuous, or you want to deter someone from breaking into the door. So if they were to try to hammer that pull off, there's probably not a lot of ultimate damage that could be done, rather than having a large pull handle on it that might be used as a way by which to defeat the lock and pull the door open. The logic being is a pull like this is likely less of a handle for someone to attack to bypass the door, destructively bypass the door. But you still want a way to be able to come in. This little pull handle does that. That's where you'll see these. Another good piece of hardware to use in that scenario, other than this, is just an inexpensive 4, 5, 6 inch zinc pull that's been surface mounted with sheet metal screws. So if someone tries to yank on that, those screws will pull out and no further damage is done at all. Same sort of concept is where you'll see this. Okay, so let's switch to the screen view and we'll take a closer look at what supporting information we have. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now let's get back to it. Here is some line art drawing from a quite out-of-date catalog from Transatlantic. This catalog could easily go back to the early 90s, and if this doesn't, it's likely not changed. It hadn't changed since the early 90s. There's no date here at all. I don't know when this PDF is from. It's probably 20 years old at this point. LP-01 lip pull. They're showing it mounted horizontally, sure, no problem with that. However you like. I'm accustomed to seeing this at the bottom of the door. I I don't know. You're obviously going to need two hands to operate that. You might want to be able to always use your primary hand to rotate the key and your secondary hand to pull it open. You might have to cross your hands depending on the hand of the door. But this catalog is neat because it is a throwback to a much older, and this is only the panic device section from that catalog. That was about 1.25 inches thick. And we can see that LP 01. The name Transatlantic was, the company Transatlantic was purchased by Global Door Controls, and if you are in the builder's hardware industry at all, you probably know their name on door closers. So they bought that company, Transatlantic. It was in the early 2000s that the owners retired. The customer service rep, whose name was Sandy, retired and moved to Phoenix, and the end of an era then began of Transatlantic bringing in very good quality imported builder's hardware from Asia and doing so for a very reasonable cost. And this hardware is literally a Transatlantic item that's been on the shelf for many, many years. Completely brand new. Let's take a look at some images that we have here. Okay, that's the back side. Showing you the other name that I mentioned, so Global, from our manufacturers page, which you can get to from anywhere where it says on the website manufacturers. You can then do a Control F or find function on your keyboard for Global Door Controls. And this would be the catalog of Global Door Controls products. And again, if you know their name, you will for door closers, because I see their name on door closers. Now, at some point, maybe 10 years ago or whenever it was, there was a rebranding, and then the company name Imperial was brought into the mix. Imperial, we're going to do the same thing we did earlier. Manufacturers, Control F, Imperial USA. This is the company that now has underneath it the names Transatlantic and Global. And from here you will find the consolidated catalogs of what is available. This catalog's fairly recent, a year old. Okay, there you go. If you want to see imported builder's hardware from what Transatlantic turned into and then turned into again, that would be where you would find that document. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've made it this far into this video, you must be determined to see it through to the end, and we appreciate your hanging in there with us and watching this entire video. It means a lot. It takes a lot of work to create these videos in the sense that, you know, it's time taken away from doing other things. However, the advantage for me personally of creating these videos is the fact that it does allow myself to either learn about something new, to reacquaint myself with something, or to reinforce what I believe that I already know. Any comments that you might leave down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, in conclusion, if you have any questions on the LP-01 lift pull or cylinder pull, or any other Transatlantic or Global product, please feel free to reach out to us. Pretty typical material. I wouldn't use that key to pull that door open. Sooner or later the key will fatigue and break. But really what you're also doing is ultimately damaging the cuts on the key, the pin tumblers that are in the cylinder, the chambers that have been drilled out in the cylinder plug itself. Premature wear and tear will lead to a failure, will lead to me getting called on a Friday at 5 o'clock because you broke your key. This is $8. The installation is probably 15 minutes. Me coming to pull that broken key out of there is more than that. Anyway, all kidding aside, if you have any questions on any commercial exit device hardware from any manufacturer, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you. Thanks to our clients, Architectural Builder Supply is building an additional facility, and what follows is not only a look at the acreage that we're building the facility on, but also first the architectural renderings as they exist, or at least the architectural plans as they exist at this time. Thank you very much. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look at the architecturals as they exist at this moment, or at least it wouldn't be proper to call these architecturals, but it would be proper to call them renderings in the sense of they're conceptual drawings, they're not renderings. So the entire space is going to look like this in terms of a site rendering. This will be a 22,000 square foot building, of which we'll have specific purpose areas. There'll be a workshop down here. This is a few thousand square feet that will be likely woodworking, metalworking, CNC, things of that nature. This will be an office area here, a private office area. This will be architectural builders supply expanded storage area where we will be able to do fulfillment. The entire space in the center is going to be all of the volume, as I call it. Large components will be able to be stored and stocked there. Machinery that's too large to fit otherwise may be put out here. Specific facility rooms, and then some recreation over here. Let's take a look at that drone footage, and thank you very much for taking a look.